No, chapter 4. There is no 10.
Sorry, I had my pen in the wrong place. Sorry.
There's only 6 chapters in the whole thing.
Sorry.
Chapter 4, 12 through 20.
Scrolling all morning long. Bye. Love you guys.
Love you. Goodbye. Yeah, because I was looking at this and I was like, man, the verses are actually longer than what they were giving me to give to you guys. And I was like, man, that's pretty good. I feel like I'm in the wrong spot for some reason. No, I'm in the right spot. All right. We're in Galatians today, and we're in Galatians 4, chapter 4, and we're going to resume back on verse 12. And it says, brother, I beseech you, be as I am, for I am as ye are, have not injured me at all. Ye know how through infirmity of my flesh I preached the gospel unto you at the first. And my temptation, which is my flesh, ye beseech not, nor reject, be receive me as an angel of God, even as Christ. I'm going to stop right there and go over this a little bit, right? Because this is not long on this part of it. Right here, it says, verses 12 through 18. Paul's really, now I know I didn't read to 18. I stopped at 14. But it says, Paul takes it personally. Right here is where Paul's taking it personally of them turning away from God. You know, I mean, a lot of times, I think us as pastors, church members, anybody that deals with work that is really personal to them, if you take your job personally and somebody quits, or even like a church, if somebody quits, even when somebody moves, sometimes you take it personally. Like, were we not good enough for you? You know, you don't mean to, because as church people, if people need to move, hey, we understand, we love you, but it does hurt, right? And I think that's where Paul was like, you guys were living for the Lord, you left, and they take it personally because they don't know where, he knows where they're at. And it's funny because in the message here, if you look at it, it never tells us what they did to turn away from God, what they were doing to, they said false preachers, but what were they teaching? But it's amazing, Paul picked up on it. You ever notice when, like, I've had it happen, I know pastors seen it happen, you know somebody that goes to church all the time with you. And then all of a sudden, they stop showing up to church, but you start seeing their Facebook page, or you see them out and about, and the places you see them at because you're walking by, maybe like a bar because you're going to Walmart, and you see them there. Or you see them on Facebook at a party holding a beer, or not just a beer, just kind of party that you could tell that's not the right crowd to be around. And you're like, man, you can see the sin without knowing the sin. And that's where I think Paul's here. He comes back to church. He walks into church, and he just sees the sin without even knowing what to. That's why I don't think Paul actually calls out the sin. He said, how do you believe the false preachers? Why are you doing this? And that's what amazes me, because when preachers pull that out in the messages, we don't know what your sin is. We don't know. I believe that's God's ability to give us as Christians, and a lot of us don't use it well to notice things like that. I'm blind as a bat a lot of times when I come to people being hurting. Our pastor and Russ, they're really good at that. When somebody's just not being themselves, I like telling jokes. I'll tell a joke. Right? Not everybody needs a joke. Right? They're hurting. They need somebody to come up, give them a hug, talk to them, being just a listener, just somebody to hear them. Right? You know, just that word of encouragement. We got a few people out today. Hey, just that text message. My wife was barely making it up the steps last night, Of course, she had a phone in her hand because she goes, "Oh, Barb texts me back, right, saying she's praying for me," and I could tell in her voice she appreciated that. Right, help her make it up the rest of them steps, I guess. Right, but it's just that little bit some of us need, and we don't even realize what we need. The day that my dad, I don't think it was the day my dad died. It might have been the day I found out my dad died. I had to go to work, and I was planning on missing work that Friday and the following week, but I had to work that day. I think I found out the night before, and I had to work next morning. And I go in, because if I would have missed that day, they would have started, they pay you 5 days for funerals, so they were going to pay me, and I had to go in that day, not to start the 5 days, to start it the next week, so I could have the weekend to travel. So I went in, and if you know anything about me, I'm not much of a hugger. I don't hug. That's not me. It's just never been me, right? And I'm not a hugger. And Michael, not a religious man, I don't believe, right, just came up to me and said, "You need a hug?" And I said, "Yeah." And he hugged me. And you don't realize what that did for me that day. My dad's been gone almost 10 years now, and I still remember that moment of a man just knowing he needed a hug. Right? Michael was a hugger too. Right? He liked hugging me. He'd go grown men and hug him all the time. I'm like, "You better stay away from me." Right? Because we're at work. Church is a little different. Men hugs, right? But at work, you don't hug me at work. Right? That's just me. Right? And I grew up that way. Hugs and kisses weren't our thing. I think it's weird parents that kiss their kids past a certain age on the mouth. I see that, and I'm like, I can't do that. You know, that's just weird. I mean, I've seen people do it. It's normal for them. It's not normal for me. Right? I kiss my kids and my grandkids on the forehead. Right? Even as babies, I never kiss them on the mouth. It's always on the forehead. Only person on the mouth is my wife. It just, because even my brother and sister, last time I saw my mom before she passed away, I kissed her on the forehead. That's just me. I don't kiss on the mouth. It just, I don't know. I guess I always thought of germs, and that's before COVID. You know, just where I was. But here's Paul recognizing people's sin without even knowing their sin. And here's us as Christians. We have that ability, right? But being our abilities to recognize it, do we take the ability to confront it, walk away from it, see if somebody's hurting, to help them with our abilities, right? That's what I got with the kissing. I know I ran on the rabbit trail coming back, right? But Paul's sitting here noticing, hey, there's a problem. We need to fix it. And he takes it personally, right? Which we should, you know? I mean, if pastor's hurting, yeah, we all take it personally. But if Russ or Barb or Shannon, my wife, Brittany, the kids, anybody's hurting. When I see lists, man, I don't know what name I was even coming up with. I'm going to say Lee, and I came up with an S. Lee, when I see Lee down in the dumps, I can see him, you know, he's kicking his shoes. You guys seen it, right? And it could be just thinking of a test, thinking of a girl in another world, teenage stuff, but he's hurting. I try to go slap him on the back and say, hey, man, good to see you, right? Give him some encouragement, tell him I like his music, can't wait to hear the next song. I try to boost him up because I don't know where he's at, because now his dad might be like, he's got a pimple today, he's got a pop today, so he's upset that he's got that pimple. You know, I mean, it could be something as simple as that, but that pimple could destroy a kid. Girls, I mean, they got this much makeup hanging off their face trying to cover up. That's it. You know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to go on a rampage, but have you seen the stickers? They got acne stickers. All right? It literally got stars on them. And one time I saw a girl have and I'm like, you know, you got a sticker on your face. And she's like, yeah. And somebody like kicked me, right? Because I'm working at Jersey Mike, you know. And I'm like, what? And then later on, it's like, you kicked me, why? And they're like, that's acne. Like, I didn't know. Makeup. You know, that's all we ever did. Or not me. I mean, we popped them. right? And I always hear you don't do that, but right there is knowing what our teenagers going through is hard for me. It's hard for some of you guys. But if you see that, pat them on the back. It's our ability to notice something, because what happens is when a person's in the dumps, right, it's easier for the world to step in, right? The world will take people, and Satan's always been this way. And the biggest sin with Satan, or biggest way Satan gets everybody, don't believe in me. Satan don't want you to believe in him. He says, you do not believe in me. There is no hell. You're not going to go to a place. I'm not here. Don't believe me. You want to believe in that God fella? Go ahead. But don't believe in me. I'm not here. Do whatever you want. You ain't got to worry about going to hell, because I'm not here. Don't do what you want to do. Be your person. If you think you're a girl and you were born a guy, be what you want to be. God made a mistake, right? Because that's what blows my mind, that people try to be religious. When they do that, they say, well, God says I can love who I want. No, God clearly states that a man should love a woman, and you got to be careful of who you marry, what you want, right? The biggest thing I saw this week, and it's so true, right? If you want to be a good Christian, you got to take I out of it. You got to take me out of it. Because it's what I want, what I need, if you start doing what Jesus, then you're going to live a better life. Because a lot of people think you get saved and you're going to get blessed and you're going to get all these awards. Never been promised to us, right? I think a lot of people love to pull out Job. Oh, see what happened? And he stayed true. But he was already true to the Lord when all that happened. You see what he went through? How many of us, I would have gave up. I mean, remember how the wife said, curse God and die? Losing 10 kids, all your money, and your health within hours. Right? And then have a wife. You notice God didn't take her, or Satan didn't take her away. Yeah. I hate to say it like that. He didn't say, oh, let me have that wife. Right? But he took everything else. So you can say he took all the good stuff away from him. So, he took all that away from him, but he was already serving the Lord. Jonah and the whale. Think about it. I believe he was serving the Lord until the Lord told him to go somewhere. Like, not me. And then he tried to run from God. Look at Ananias. He was serving the Lord, and the Lord said, go talk to Paul on the guy going to kill Christians, and I want you to go see him and tell him, why me? I'm doing your work here, and that's here where Paul comes in and sees these Christians not doing what the Lord, because, let me see where I can find it exactly what it says, because it's never promised that it says, all right, it never says that we're going to live holy and miraculously. What it is Christians get saved and things change. And this is what happens. And I kid you not. You think about it. If a drunkard gets saved, what he gives up? Alcohol. What normally happens at first? Clear mind, feels better, has a little bit of money in his pocket, and things start going well for him. But what happens after 6 months? Bills start piling up. You got to work for a living. You can't depend on other people to hand out money, standing on the curbside, getting drunk all the time. You got to actually go to work and get a job, take care of people, and then responsibilities come on you. What happens? Well, if I have one drink, it ain't going to be that bad. Back there again. It's too easy to fall back. It's easier to be this than serve the Lord. Because, see, everybody thinks, oh, serving the Lord, billions of dollars. I don't know about rich, right? I've never had a paycheck just given to me every week, just here's the paycheck for doing nothing. I mean, my food truck pays me if we work. My bus only if I work. Here, hopefully only when I'm here. You know, I mean, I only get paid when I show up. You know, if I stop coming here, you'd be like, write his name off the books. Right? If I stop going to the bus, not getting paid. Right? If I don't show up, then if pastor stops showing up, you'd be like, right? I mean, because you got to show up. Right? If you didn't show up to your job ever, at the end of the year, you expect them to give you a check for the whole, and that's what our government is so weird, because we get people for not showing up. Oh, you don't want to work? Here's some money. Oh, you don't want to work? Here's some more money. Oh, you don't want to take care of your kids? Here's some money to take care of them. Right? Because I guess I have not, when I was younger, me and my wife actually were on food stamps and things like that before we took, because we were working, barely making it, and we took advantage of it. Not take advantage, I don't want to say advantage, we took the use of it, right? One time, 6 months, I got a good paying job. We never applied again, right? I needed it at that time. I applied for it, used it, got off of it. That's the way the system's supposed to work. But how people have mistakenly taken it another distance, but one time I was on it. You could buy food like steak, chicken, anything like that, but it actually had a marking. You had to get the low cheap meat. You couldn't get the ribeyes, the thing. There was more. And then the cereal, you had to get the non-name brands. You couldn't get the name brands. It wasn't food stamp eligible. And you definitely weren't allowed to buy soda and no paper products, right? So you had to buy your own napkin, paper plates, all that stuff, and no tobacco. I found out now all that stuff's allowed on that, right? You can get all that. And I'm like, how? Right? You can buy sodas on that. And I'm like, how you can buy sodas on food stamp? Why the country paying for people's obese? Because when they get sick from all that junk food, who's paying for the health care? But God wants the church to take care of that, and we would if people would come to the church and stop depending on the government. See, our country's got it backwards. They want the government to take care of them. The church will take care of them because God will bless them. Because I'll be honest with you, the church has helped me more in my life than the government has. I mean, I needed money for an operation, the church provided it. I needed money to pay a bill, the church provided it. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. That one little time, the government helped me. But I tell you, when I had just a need, because I needed somebody to give me a hug, the church provided it. The government never came to my house and said, let me give you a hug. Right? See, that's the problem. Our government gives you what you want. Our church gets what you need. And see, that's where we get it so messed up. And that's where Paul takes it personally. He said, and I really think that's where Galatians really messed up, because they went to the world, and Satan, like I said, Satan is going, you're not coming to me. Because the little thing I saw the other day, and it's so true, man sitting on a fence, right here, right on the middle of the fence. God's on this side, Satan's on this side. And God says, I can provide for you. I'll take care of you, right? If you're willing to trust in me. Satan's like, I'll give you everything you ever wanted. I'll give you gold, rich. I'll provide all your stuff. But you got to be willing to give me your soul and everything. And the guy's like, man, I like to have a little bit of this. But see, all Satan's stuff, and I don't know if you ever have an issue, a long time issue, Facebook people, like one sip of drinking, it's always okay, but is it ever one sip? It's drink, then your alcoholism, and then you're throwing up from it, headaches, hangovers. You pay a penalty. And then drugs are the same way. The first time it's nice. Eating, I'm bad at that. Eating, first couple of bites are great, but when you keep going, and when you get done, the pain afterwards, because you overate, right? That's where obesity is a bad thing. Overeating, gluttony, right? And then that's where we're in the middle of the fence playing with God and Satan, and we do it for so long, and then all of a sudden, before we realize it, we're pulled on this side. And somebody goes, wait a minute, why did we end up on this side and not on that side? And Satan goes, the fence is mine. See, a lot of times we think we're playing the line. We're playing on Satan's side anyway. The fence is Satan's. If we're playing in between as Christians, we're playing for Satan's side anyway. And I've been there. I try to straddle that line and try to do it, and then I just realize I'm playing for the wrong team. If you don't have both feet, and some people, they try to play, up here's the line. I'm not on that side yet. I'm not. But see, what they don't realize, Satan's a liar. What he'll do, he'll try to race that line and put it here, and you go, I'm not on. You already passed the line. You're over here. See, that's where Satan gets us. Is Satan says, oh, that's not a sin. Here's one, and I know Rich has done it. I've done it. My parents did it to me, and my pastor actually did it to me, Pastor Terry Boer. He goes, you go to him. If you go to anybody, right, and mostly a kid, Mom, Dad, can I do this? What do we say? Do you think you should do that? Why? We already know what they think. They already know it's wrong. They know that they want you to back up their sin and be willing to say, yes, I think it's okay. See, a lot of times we as Christians, we answer somebody, because I always say it like this. If you come to me and ask me, is movies okay? I don't know if movies is okay for you. I can't answer that question. If you have no problem going to the movies, watching TV, I watch TV. I have no issue with TV, right? But if you come to me and say, should I be watching TV? Yeah, you probably shouldn't. Because if you're asking me the question, God's already broke your heart on that. I had to get rid of video games for a long time. And you go, video games, what's wrong? Nothing. But when you're giving more to Satan than God, there's a problem. You go, video games given to Satan? No, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know what clears your mind, but when I get into a video game, my mind just goes, I'm in the game sometime. Right? I'm just, hour go by and I don't even realize I'm playing solitary. You know, I mean, I'm in the game, right? It just wipes away all the worry. Now, I get in the Bible and that happens. Well, why ain't I in the Bible to clear it? Instead of picking up the phone and playing solitary. What you give your heart to, you'll stride more. Because I can tell you what level I am on Monopoly Go, but I can't tell you what level I am in the Bible because I don't step as much as I do on Monopoly Go. Oh, 3 hours, I got all my lives back. Let me play again. You know? Oh, I got a new life. Let me go play again. You know? I mean, some of us are like that with our entertainment. But our problem is we need to get away from that and start striding because we're going to be more of the world. And that's where Paul was telling these guys, like, hey, you need to get away from this and walk away. Let me read the verse 15 through 18. Well, where is then the blessings ye speak of? For I bear you record that if you had been possible, ye have plucked out your own eyes and have given it to me. And I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. Then, I read this one earlier. Zeally affected you, but not well ye they will exceed you that ye might affect them. But if I give, but it is good to be a zeal affected away in a good thing, and not only when I present it to you. What he's saying is, here, is he's like, I became your enemy because I tell you the truth. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times, when you talk to a teenager, they don't want to talk to you. Why? Because if you tell them the truth, they don't want to hear it. Because how many times Lee's had more than one girlfriend? I hate to keep talking about it, but he ain't here. We all have more than probably one boyfriend, girlfriend. What did the person say when you broke up with that person or they broke up with you? Oh, don't worry about it. You'll have somebody better. You'll love. Just shut up and leave me alone. You don't want to hear the truth. Because the truth is, you probably will get somebody that you love better or even more. God will present that, but at that point, you don't want to hear it. And guess what? The person telling you that is your enemy. Like, because you're like, shut up, leave me alone, get away from me. Because how many times that I've never had to present this, but maybe one of y'all did. You saw somebody cheating on somebody, and you went and told that other person, and then they blamed you for it. And it's like, what did I do? I didn't cheat on you. What, you want to let me? Because it was an old song, and I hate bringing up songs and things, but I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend, you know, that you've been cheating around. I always try to add up how many friends that was, but so it was your friend of a friend of a friend. Right? That one. If you listen to that song, and there's another one, what was it? I wish I could go back because it's too late. Because your friend, I can't think of it. I'm not going to think of the word. But what it was saying is, if I could go back before I knew you were cheating around, just don't tell me. But now I know I can't be with you, right? Because you didn't know, you don't know. But once you know, it's hard to be with that person because trust is broken. And that's just like, think about that though, when we're with our religion, faith, how many times we cheat on God and he still takes us back and he knows. But we ask for his forgiveness and he does like forget that he never remembered, like it was the first day again. Think about that. Every time we sin, we cheat on God and he knows. But if we're saved under the blood, he washes away, act like his first day, and you didn't cheat on him at all. You're still that faithful Christian. And that's where we, as Christians, because if you're a cheater, you know you're a cheater. You done it. You did it. You know where you're at. Even if the person don't know, like God, you still know. Because I don't know if there's a happy cheater. I mean, because I don't know. You always see cheaters are miserable, you know, because this person don't make them happy. This person don't make them happy. And usually sometimes it's 3 or 4 people, right? And so they're miserable, right? I found one woman that made me happy for the last 32 years, you know. I mean, that's where I don't understand cheaters, because if the person you're with ain't making you happy and you're not satisfied, don't want to say get a divorce. Go to God. Let God make you happy so that he can see your happiness in God. And that's what Paul is trying to say. And because here's the thing. They were willing to give Peter, or Saul, right, their eyes if they could. When he was hurting, they were ready to do anything to help him. Because, you know, he got to the point where he's getting old. Back hurt, leg hurt, eyes hurt, everything hurt, right? And they helped him. But when he came back, they're like, we don't want nothing to do with you. How many of us as Christians will do that? We'll turn away from God and we'll just say, nope, we don't want you no more, because we know what the truth is. See, the truth kills us, right? And that's where we got to be careful with this. And it says, because it says it's telling them what they wanted to hear, making them feel spiritually holy. See, that's where false teachers do that. A lot of times, me and Pastor don't always say what you want to hear. I can tell you what you want to hear. Y'all great people. Y'all the best church ever, right? We're the best people. We don't sin. We're perfect. Everybody else out here is wicked, evil, right? That's why they're not here today. We're perfect. No, that's the wrong answer. We're just as bad as everybody around. We're just saved by grace. And luckily, we got a place we can come, bow our heads, and worship him a couple of days a week. And that's the truth. People out there want to say, oh, I know them Mountaintop Baptist Church people, that they think they're holding now. No, they got the wrong church in mind, because we know we're not. Right? I mean, we're not even close being holy than thou, you know. I mean, man, Just this week, I probably got mad at 3 people today coming to church because they can't drive. You know, I mean, you don't do 65 in this fast zone, even though the speed limit's 55. You get over it, so I can do 70. You know, that's where we are, right? And so that's where we got to be careful with this. And I'm going to wrap it up, and we'll start in verse 19 next week. And we'll actually start in a new lesson. So next week, we're going to go through 21 through 30 in Galatians, and we'll actually finish up the chapter. I don't know if we'll finish next week, because that's 9 verses or 10 verses. I don't know if we'll finish up that one, but it's pretty good. I think we're going to get away from a little bit of what we've been talking about, because it talks about the law and liberty, but it could also repeat itself a lot. Because this lesson has been pretty good about Galatians. Let me pray with you, and then we'll have a few minutes before church starts. Our dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for all your many blessings. Just thank you for the book of Galatians, and just let us be able to just take today's Sunday school lesson